Hey,
Ho,
hey,
ho,
your mom's a.
ho,
Oh, got him.
ho.
Oh, you see why I did that? You called your mom a hoe. Welcome
What?
back. That's right. This is PlayPSVR, the podcast. Did you miss us? Did you miss me? You've talked to Alex. You've listened to Alex. It's good to be back, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I mean, I'm very slovenly right now. I'll just let a little inside scoop. I'm having a baby in like 3 days. I mean, I'm not having a baby. Kind of. There's new child soon. 3 days. I'm unwashed. I'm exhausted already, and it's not even begun. So But other than that, I'm doing great, man. How are
Dude,
you doing?
here's the thing. You you are uglier than ever, but that voice, man, it goes down smooth like the sweetened breast milk for your child. It's good stuff. It's good to be back. Good hearing you. I've been taking a break for a little while, but it's all right because sometimes you need to step back, live life, and then come back hard. Do you see how hard I am, Alex? I am so hard for VR. Have you ever seen me harder?
I've seen you harder, but not this hard on the podcast.
Oh my. Okay. Okay. And so while I ramble on here, this is the moment that I was like, you know what? I need to get back on the horse. It was yesterday, and I sent you a little text, Alex. The first thing I think I told you. How about you look that up and you read to the people? Because I think it was a pretty it was about, Area X, and I think it was a pretty good jumping point in where I was like, not doing VR much, not really playing games, and then boom, Area X changed it, and it got me back on the path of righteousness. Do you have that? That I didn't tell you to pick it up before
Yeah,
we
no,
started.
I think I got it here. Let me look 1 second. It said, yeah, here it is. It says, yeah, I'm I'm pregnant. It's yours, and I'm keeping it.
Oh, got ya. That's the kid he's having in 3 days.
Where is it? Where I can't find the text here. I'm looking for it. You
Oh
got me
man,
off guard,
what?
man. Oh, there we go.
It
You know what's better than a buttery Adam? I can't say this on the podcast.
what? Why not?
You know what's better than a buttery hand job? Area mother effing X.
There it is, and it's true. Area X is just so good. Like, sure, I haven't played a VR game, and I mean, I played a little Rumblings of Beat Saber, and I played like one level of Chroma Gun, but I just haven't played VR in the past 4 months, maybe. I don't know, since the last time we did a podcast. Really, it's been that long. And as soon as I played Area X, I was like, mother effer. Oh, I'm back, baby. It is so good.
So let me tell you, this is the weird thing about VR. I want to play it all the time because it's great, but the irony of it is that when you don't play for a long time and then you come back and play it, it's like your brain has reset and it's ready to be amazed all over again. But if you're doing it every week in, week out, like we used to do, or maybe keep doing, I don't know, whatever. You kind of lose that magic, right? You get used to it. Your brain starts to understand, like, okay, this is VR, whatever, we're doing VR stuff, but when you wait like a month or so and you jump back in, especially something like Area X, which is just such a surreal experience, you're blown away all over again. I'm glad that the magic doesn't go away. It just you kind of have to reset your brain and reset your mind and come back to it refreshed.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think there are a lot of contributing factors like we've mentioned in the past, and people have agreed with us on Reddit and other things, and that VR does it takes more motivation to play because it's not just something you could sit down and mindlessly play like in a flat game for whatever reason. Like there's some emotional toll, and maybe it's just the physical toll and you're moving. It doesn't sound like a lot, but there is an added step to it. You put that, and then, I mean, honestly, let's be honest, man. When we review these games, how I would say 40% of them just suck. So we're playing bad games. Sometimes we're rewarded with an amazing game. You never know, but sometimes they're bad games. And then once you just get doing it and play video games all the time, it gets old, gets stale. We need a break. So, I am about ready to move and you're about ready to have a kid. So we'll see how much we're actually going to get to play. But regardless, it's good to be back. And let me tell you what. Here's the thing with Area X.
Wait, before we jump into this, Adam, I know that's the topic of the first segment. What's your gamer juice tonight?
That is a good point. I didn't even put that in the notes. This is how rusty I am. I was about ready. I remembered the Powerade play of the week. But that is coming one of my favorite segments because at this point, it is just absolutely ridiculous that we still have them as part of the podcast. I know you didn't want them on the podcast to begin with, but, here we are. How many? 9 months into our relationship? This is our Powerade baby. Anyhow, I've got some Big Brother hard root beer. It's very, very, it's refreshing. It has a weird little tang to it, but it's not just root beer, a little something extra. Cool, It's always good to hold a glass bottle like a beer. You feel like one of the bros. And it's one of my favorite kind of spin-offs of beer. So a big fan. I've had it before, nothing new, but one I strongly recommend.
So is it called Big Brother and you like it so much because it tastes like kissing your big brother?
Well, my brother is younger.
That's why you like it, though? Okay, so it tastes like your younger brother kissing you and saying, big brother.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Because what I did, I needed to train him. So I used to drink this, have some still left in my mouth, and then kiss him.
Mama bird it. But Big Brother, but it's alcoholic drink, so it's not mama birding, it's big brothering the drink back.
Have I big brothered you? Yeah. Isn't there a TV show like Big Brother or something? It was like a reality show.
There is, yeah, there is.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, what are you drinking?
It's like Fear Factor, but they just spit drinks in each other's mouths. No, I'm drinking I'm drinking Coca-Cola Energy. I got a discount thing at the Come and Go. It was like 99 cents if you buy one of those. You go to a gas station to have the hot dogs rolling on the rollers.
Oh, I love them, yeah.
Keep them from, they're already disgusting. They don't want them to be like infected with something as well, so they keep them moving. Well, sometimes they put like little, it looks like a taquito or something like that on there. So I got some of those, and if you get like 2 of those, then you get like this for 99 cents. So I was like, why not? It's 0 sugar cherry Coca-Cola Energy. I think they're trying to break into the energy drink game. I'll tell you right now how it tastes. It tastes like cough syrup.
Oh, like Robitussin?
Yeah, not very good. But I need the energy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, my question is, I know you got a pretty good job. What the F are you buying taquitos at the Come and Go for? What are you doing?
Let me tell you. I'm glad you brought this up. I could be Bill freaking Gates, and I would have the worst food choice mechanism in my brain of all time. I'll have you know, I was not going to record a podcast this week because I seriously had, just the runs. I had the run for like 4 days because...
The taquitos, that's
no,
why.
It's not the taquitos.
Bull crap.
I got an air fryer for my birthday, a couple months back, and I heard that bagel bites are good in an air fryer. And so I got a couple boxes of bagel bites. Pizza on a bagel?
Yeah.
And so I made a box in the air fryer. It takes about 5 minutes. I ate the box. It was delicious. So I made another box of bagel bites. Ate that entire package. It was delicious.
2 boxes?
Didn't stop there, my friend. I had 4 boxes of bagel bites.
What? Wait, how big is a box?
And so the next day I had destructive food poisoning. I was curled up on the couch trying to sleep, groaning, moaning. My daughter's wondering why her daddy seems like a husk of a man. My wife's angry at me for not watching the kid at all. And every time, if I do get up, it's to go paint the back of the toilet bowl.
Wait, I thought they were frozen. How can you get food poisoning from frozen?
Maybe it wasn't food poisoning. I don't know, man. But I make poor choices on the regular. And when I finally start getting over it, I did stop and get a taquito. And then I had to do
idiot.
Hour-long drive for work, munching on a taquito and a buffalo chicken taquito.
That's an idiot. Okay, well.
I make terrible decisions. Anyways, let's move on to Area X. How you doing?
Oh, my God. Okay, here's the thing with Area X. At some point, I'm going to either die or I'm going to come close to death. And if that happens, what I want you to do, Alex, everyone in the hospital, they're going to run for their defibrillators, and they're going to run for their prescriptions, and they're going to run for all of this other crap that they're going to try to, make my heart continue beating, bring me back to life. What I want you to do is slowly and very smoothly just put the headset on my head and play Area X. And if there is any life left, I will come back to life. And if I don't, if I'm just stoic and I sit there, I'm gone. Save the resources, just let me die. Because it is that good. And anyone who disagrees, I'll make you eat come and go taquitos and 4 boxes of bagel bites until you paint the back of your toilet bowl. I mean, this is that story's. You're an idiot. Oh my gosh, it's so stupid. Area X is so good. It is our Powerade play of the week, and it may be the Powerade play of my life. It is. I mean, Res Infinite in general is very good. I like it very much, but Area X is so. Alex, the thing, I know you like Res Infinite. You were the one who told me about it, the one who introduced me to it because you played in the Dreamcast. So how much better do you think Area X is, I guess if any, I'm assuming, than the actual Res Infinite levels in the actual game, like that was from the Dreamcast?
I will describe it in a way that makes zero sense to somebody who has not played the entirety of Res. Does that work for you? It's
sure.
Kind of an esoteric description, if you'll allow that. The step, the last level of Res, Area 5, with all the
Fear's
DNA
mind
molecule
killer,
and
right?
stuff. Yeah, and I guess every level of Res you do it, but it's most prevalent in Area 5, where every step you're leveling up, like you're evolving a little bit, right? Things get more organic. Things get a little, evolution is the thesis of that level. Things get more complex, more beautiful. I feel like where you start off in that level and where you end in that level, that gap of beauty and evolution and complexity, that's a similar thing. Whereas if Res Infinite by itself was that first stage and Area X is that final stage, you get what I'm saying? That jump,
I would not have thought of it like that, but yeah, okay.
That's how I would describe the difference between Res Infinite alone and Area X. Is it's that difference. It's the difference between the first part of Area 5 and the last part of Area 5. That disparity is Res Infinite to Area X. It is just quite a masterpiece. And the thing I love about it is that it takes like 20 minutes to consume, but when you finish it, you just feel like you accomplished something, even though it's not particularly challenging. And you feel like it's like finishing a really good book that you've been working on for a long time, but you can get that feeling in 20 minutes. It's like a whole encompassed, a full flavored experience that just wraps itself up neatly in the end, and you're happy to turn around and do it again if you want to, or like us, wait a couple weeks, wait a day or so, and come back and do it again. And you feel like you're not just retreading the same ground, even though it's really pretty straightforward. There's not much variation in it, aside from just the basic gameplay variation that happens in a game like Res. It's just so good, man. It's so good. Dude, it's life affirming.
It is. And I guess the thing too, also, we jumped into this. I would like to think that our listeners aren't bumbling fools and idiots and that they have played Res Infinite, but I suppose maybe we should lead into it a little bit in case they haven't played. Yeah. So how would you, most people have at least seen trailers or some type of gameplay because it is so unique, but how would you describe to someone who hasn't played it what Res Infinite is like? Because I feel like it would be fairly, at least for me, it's fairly difficult to explain because there's not really there's kind of a plot, and it's so out there and psychedelic that it's not difficult either. I don't really know what would be the best way to explain it to someone if they haven't played it.
So the idea of Res, like the basic plot, which isn't really the point of the game, but the plot is that there's like some computer program or AI that contains all the knowledge of the history of the Earth, and it's being hacked or eaten away by a virus, and so you have to go in there as this computer program and save this program that contains all the knowledge of Earth and everything from being consumed by this virus. So that's basically what you're doing when you're playing the game. That's the objective that's happening. But the way the game plays is If you've played these games before, you'll know what I mean. It plays kind of like Star Fox, or plays kind of like Panzer Dragoon, where it's kind of an on-rails shooting game, but you can move the target around and shoot the enemies as they come. However, that's just the nuts and bolts. That's the physical mechanism of how you're playing. The real magic of the game is that it's got this like trance electronica soundtrack that comes to you in layers. And so as you progress through the level, new layers of the music get added on. And not only that, the enemies, the enemies kind of, there's layers to them, and they kind of evolve. Your character, the way it, fires off its missiles and stuff, that kind of evolves. So every level has its own evolution, and the game itself, on the whole, has a whole evolution. So that's, like I said, it's a thesis of the game. But the real beauty of it is that every action in the game has a sound, and every time you kill an enemy, that creates a sound. And they've got some code working in the background that makes sure that all sounds and all actions produce a sound that is within rhythm of the game. So, for example, if you just hit the X button, it'll make a clapping noise. And if you just start jamming on the X button, you'll start noticing quickly that regardless of how you're jamming on the X button, it seems like the clapping sounds are always within beat. It's always on beat. So it's always, you can't really mess up the music. You can't screw anything up. And so the result is that as you're going around shooting the enemies and blowing up these enemies and making this cacophony, the cacophony falls in line with the music as it's prescribed in the music or in the game. And it just creates this really beautiful, they call it synesthesia, where you have these spectacular visuals, all the colors and explosions happening in front of you, combined with music that is correlated with those explosions. And it's just a fantastic experience. So it's almost like the game has 5 levels, I think, and then like there's some boss fights, and then there's like a hidden level or whatever that's kind of not fully fleshed out, and then there's Area X for the VR mode, the extra Area X included in Res Infinite. But I like to think of each level as like just a 10-minute song, and this is a way of experiencing each song is there's 5 10-minute songs that you get to experience. Yeah, so if you don't know Panzer Dragoon or Star Fox, basically what you're doing is you're on rails floating through an environment, and you highlight enemies, hold down a button and highlight enemies, up to 8 of them, and then when you let go, your character will fire off missiles that will blow up the enemies. Sometimes enemies take more than one hit, so you highlight them, but if you highlight that enemy, it could highlight it 8 times automatically. And there's a point mechanism here. If you highlight 8 enemies, then you get 8 times a point. You highlight 4 enemies and let go, you get 4 times a point. So some people get into the whole arcade score attack thing. I never really got into that, but some people found it really addictive and satisfying. Yeah, it's a beast of a game. The mechanics are pretty simple, and that's not what makes the game. But I heard it described once as it's, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And let me tell you, my whole is greater for having played Res.
That's good. And the thing that I like most about it, if you haven't played it, and why I would recommend playing it, as a flat game, I honestly don't think I would be that impressed. I would be like, okay, I guess there's some cool visuals. But in virtual reality, it's a completely different game. And it really feels like, so you're watching your little avatar in front of you. So you're not necessarily the one going through this kind of on-rail shooter type of level, but it feels as though you're still there, and it completely transforms the entire game. I'm trying to think, I don't want to misspeak, and you can correct me, Alex, if I'm wrong. I don't remember really another game similar to that, and it putting you in an environment that is just so trippy and psychedelic, but yet so like beautiful. And it's not just made to try to trip you out or make you feel like you're on LSD. That's not the point of it. It's just, that's the best way I could describe the visuals. So I'm looking here, Alex, full price, Res Infinite is $29.99. What would you recommend for someone who hasn't played this, don't know if they have? Do you think $30 is worth it? Do you think it should go on sale?
So, I mean, I'm not the right person to ask because, let's see, I got a pirated copy of the game. I played that on Dreamcast. When it came out on PlayStation 2, it was very hard to find, so it was really rare. So when I finally heard that it was on PlayStation 2, I tried to get a copy. They were going for like $70 on eBay. Somehow I looked at the right place at the right time and found out that Toys R Us, I guess they found some in their back catalog years later, and they tried to release it as new again. So I got a copy years after it was released for $50 on PlayStation 2, and I thought that was more than fair. price. It's a game that takes about an hour tops to beat, and then maybe 5 run-throughs to beat completely. But then in VR, you get this. Like, I paid $50 for the flat game. I was happy with it. I think I paid $50 to get a physical version of it. Physical version of the VR thing. I'm happy with that. $30. It seems pricey. I would be more than happy to pay that amount if I had to. That being said, if you still haven't bought it by now, then you're obviously on the fence. And the game goes on sale regularly, or it has. $20 is a steal. So if you're on the fence, $20 or less. But if what I'm talking about kind of excites you, then go for it. I will say there must be something with the demo. People play the demo and they don't like it. They don't get what the deal is. Maybe the demo. Maybe I should play it so I know what's happening. Maybe the demo doesn't have a complete level or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of a hard game to get into if you're not really committed to what's happening. But it's just, man, there was a time in high school when I played this game once a day. I'd play through it every day for about a couple weeks because it's just an hour a day. Man, it's fantastic. Beautiful stuff. Adam, let's just kind of break down Area X a little bit here. This Area X, it's kind of like a microcosm, a 20-minute run through of one of the entire game, more or less, because you start off in complete darkness, right? And then there's just that shining light in front of you, and you highlight it and blow it up, and then it begins the game, and you run through these different environments. What is your favorite environment in Area X?
So if you're an avid listener of the podcast, I've talked about this probably at least twice, I remember, and that it was my big wow moment for VR was in Area X. And maybe there's a bit of nostalgia, or maybe partly that is one reason why I enjoy Res so much. But the part where I think it's maybe the third, maybe the fourth, like kind of sub level in Area X, you're going and there's these kind of crystallized spheres or some type of geometric shapes hanging from the sky, and there's this little dragon type of thing, and it's like weaving in and out, and it's your job to go in, attack the dragon, kill it by the mechanisms Alex was talking about earlier. But I remember the thing that gave me the goose pimples, the goosebumps, is the first time I was in there and that dragon turned around and came at me. I remember exactly where I was. I was in my swivel chair and it was flying beside me, and I literally had to turn my entire body in order to keep the tracking onto it and track it and look at it as though in real life there was something that flew right beside me, and if I want to observe it, I had to move my body, actually look at it, and with the music, with the visual cues, with just that visceral response of physically I had to move and witness something in a video game, in virtual reality, it was incredible. And still to this day, that is the one thing that gets me. And I love it, man. It's good stuff. Like you can't beat it. And there's so many things in Area X. I truly believe it is the best of Res Infinite in virtual reality. All the levels are good, but that's the one thing that stood out to me. What is your favorite part?
Well, I really like the part you're talking about. I kind of, when I read that was your favorite part, I was like, crap, what am I going to say? Because that is one of the better parts. I mean, you're in like this Tower of Babylon type thing, right? It looks like a hanging garden with these hieroglyphs and these it looks like digital flora hanging down, and you feel almost like you're underwater with the thing swimming around when you attack it, and he's launching these little spaceships and rockets at you that you got to hit. That's a great moment, and it's one of the first times in Area X, and that is something different about Area X, is you can actually move around freely, whereas in Res Infinite you're on rails. Area X, you have the ability to fly forward and backward and turn around where you're going and fly around a bit more freely. So that part that you're describing, Adam, is one of the first parts where you really have to, and you kind of get used to this new freedom that you have in Area X. That being said, I think my favorite part, it's a two-way tie. I mean, I would just say the end because it's really beautiful in the end. I don't want to say that because it's a cop-out. I really like the part when you're flying. I think it's right after the part you're describing. You're flying and you see a pyramid off in the distance, and then there's kind of these hieroglyphs coming, and you're just moving over this architecture, flying and floating over this architecture as smaller versions of those dragons come flying out, and you attack them. It's just a really beautiful area. You feel like you're up above up above like a civilization and flying across it, and you really feel like you have some kind of elevated presence. It's really nice. But I think the part that always sticks out to me when I play it is just after that, you know take out you kind of teleport to the next area, and you take out a couple of enemies, and then you see like a city off in the distance, and it's bright and it's illuminated, and the music is pumping in your ears, and you start flying towards that city, and then suddenly it starts flickering, and then all the lights go out and the music shuts down for a second, and it just always gets me. And I don't know, something about that part, it just kind of grabs me in VR and makes you remember, like makes me feel like I'm really there. And for that split second, there's like a little bit of trepidation, like, oh no, what happened? The lights have turned out. What's going on here? And it really plays with the presence that I feel like I'm having there. And I don't know, that part always kicks it home for me. And yeah, it's just it's a fun thing. And then when the lights come back on, I go to the next level. I don't know. Every time I play it, I get this feeling. It's like, man, I am so glad that I am living in this era of video games, and I am enjoying video games in this era where I can be around to experience this thing, this Res Infinite in VR and fly through the stuff. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be better later on down the road, but man, if I were, way older and I never got around to seeing VR, I'm just so happy that I've landed right here at this time, in this moment, to experience Res Infinite at this time. It's just makes you thankful, man. It makes you thankful.
Dude, it's good stuff. I love it. I'm thinking now, I think you had a couple more things you wanted to mention. Let's bang out the rest of Area X, finish this segment, and come out. I would love to have an hour and a half long episode of Area X, but at some point, I think the listeners get the point. But so, yeah, what's another aspect of Area X that you appreciate that may be more about Area X that you get than you don't get as much in some of the actual levels?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed Res Infinite, or the basic Res game, when I played it, but I kind of got used to it. And so, although I found little things here and there every once in a while, I came back with the same expectations every time, and those expectations were fulfilled. But every time I play Area X, it's like I hear a different note in the song, or I latch onto a different beat or something. Every time I play it, I discover something different. And so that's one thing I really appreciate about Area X is there's all these fine little details that seem to bubble up to the top as like a new thing for me every time I play. That's one beautiful thing. And for a thing that takes about 20 minutes to do, it drives you to want to replay it over and over again. And so if somebody were to sit me down and ask me to play through, hey, play through Blood and Truth now, it's like, crap, I really don't feel like doing that. If somebody were to sit me down and say, hey, I need you to play through Area X right now, I can't think of a time when I'd be like, I really don't want to do that right now. I'd always just be like, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. It's soul affirming. And, one of the things I noticed today when I was playing it, I played it just before the podcast, I really appreciate how when you're going through Area X, it's almost like the bad guys aren't necessarily bad guys. They're just a means of interaction. And I know that Tetsuya Mizuguchi had some kind of philosophy he was trying to employ. He kind of gets heavy-handed with it at the end of the fifth level. But it kind of plays on this idea of like being present and being happy with existence. And these bad guys, they're not really malicious. Like the dragon that you run into, he seems almost benevolent. And any kind of damage that you might take in the game is almost there just to keep you on your toes and keep you engaged so that you can keep creating this music and keep creating these visuals. And, without these bad guys, these enemies and targets to hit, then you wouldn't have any of this beautiful music. You wouldn't have any of this beautiful interaction. And it's almost like some kind of a symbolic representation of life, where it's like if you didn't have these troubles that get in your way, these difficulties that present themselves in front of you, whether they be bad things or just, temporary setbacks or just any bumps in the road, then the smoothness and the goodness wouldn't be as good either. And Area X doesn't hit you with that. It doesn't beat you over the head with it. This is something that you come to realize when you're playing the game. It's the game in an era where everybody's trying to tell you everything. Area X is very, very content to sit and show you rather than tell you, and take its time so that you come around to it. And so that's why fools like J-Brat, when they say they don't like Res and they don't like Area X, they can eat it because they aren't mature enough for it. I had an English teacher once tell me that there's no such thing as a bad poem, no such thing as a bad book, because that just means you're not ready for that poem. You're not ready for that book. And I have a little bit of an argument with that because there's really bad books out there and there's really bad poetry out there. But Area X is one of those things that makes you think it's not. It is for everybody. You just got to be there. You are the one failing Area X, not vice versa. So if you're listening, Jay Bratt, you can eat it. Eat 9 boxes of bagel bites and then go play Area X. Get on our level, man.
I love it. That is a pretty good wrap up of Area X. I strongly encourage, if you have not played Res Infinite, give it a shot. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty critical, right? I mean, I call it as it is, and this game is friggin' incredible. It's awesome. That is Area X and Res Infinite. Alex, I think next segment we'll go through a couple of airing of grievances, maybe New Year's resolutions, upcoming games. That sound good to you?
That sounds good to me, Adam. I can't wait to see what you hit me with.
Oh, I'm going to hit you hard because you know what? You could see I'm hard. I'm coming back hard. Oh, I'm so hard.
Excuse me. Oh, that was a hard break there, Adam. Okay, we're back. Welcome to segment 2 of PlayPSVR, the podcast. Episode 79, The Hoedown, where Adam calls my mom a hoe.
You called yourself a hoe. Well, you called
I called myself a hoe. Adam doesn't even know what happened. Apologies, Mom. I'm sorry Adam's being so rude. Maybe I should have kept him off of the podcast. That would have been a good idea. But Adam, let's get into it, man. I feel like I haven't done this in a while. Airing your grievances, man. What's up? What's a weird Adam thing? What thorn is in your side? What's tickling your pickle? No, that's not a bad thing. You got some weird aphorism?
Dude, just pooch my cooch and let's get going.
What is pooch in your cooch? There you go. Airing
Here's
your
the
grievance,
thing.
Adam.
So, I've had time to really stew over this one. And here's the thing. You guys know I like people be direct and I like you to be harsh and honest. I've been sitting here, we haven't had a podcast in a long time, and I expected people to argue and be angry and insult us, call us ugly, call our moms hoes. I wanted people to pooch my cooch, and instead we didn't get anything. You know what we got? We got freaking emails of people supporting us and being like, hey, guys, we missed your podcast. I hope you get on soon. We miss it, blah, blah. I don't want that, man. I don't want that. I want you. Why can't you make fun of us? Why can't you say your voice sounds like a baby suffocating in a plastic bag? Or, hey, Alex is so ugly, I would rather eat the inside cushioning of my sofa. Here's the thing. You don't make fun of me, I'll make fun of you. I will come to blows with you. Hey, that guy is Will. You sound like a 17-year-old boy. Boom, roasted. Hey, Dino Roar Gaming. Your logo looks like a homeless reptar. Boom, roasted. Hey, J-Brat, you're stupid, you don't like Res Infinite, and you suck at Farpoint. Boom, roasted. Hey, Chota Boy, I'd rather shove an inflamed porcupine up my beehole than play Firewall. Boom, roasted. Game sucks. Hey, Fry, guess what? You're actually not part of PlayPSVR. Boom, roasted. Mic drop.
I don't have an airing of grievance. I just wanted to. I like hearing you get it out, Adam.
Man, it's bullcrap. It's bullcrap. You guys know I like insults. We ask people, all of our giveaways revolve around someone insulting us. And so what do? We leave and not a single, I don't know. Am I missing one? I mean, it has been a long time, Alex. Has anyone insulted us?
I think I got something a little dicey from Fry maybe on PSVR, the PlayStation messages, which if you're trying to contact me, that's the worst way to try to contact me. Hey, say something mean about Turna. He's a little chimp.
Oh, you're right. I'm just going off the top of my friggin' head. Yeah. I don't know. Australia sucks. I don't know. I like Australia. I feel like Australia's cool.
Australia's on fire. I talked to Turner a little bit. They're burning up down there.
Oh, I can't make fun of him. That's too real. Will sounding like a 17-year-old boy. He'll hit puberty soon. But some of Australia isn't going to become on fire. So, I'll leave him alone.
How about, hey, Turner, only thing hotter than the Australian brush fires is your mom. Boom, roasted.
That's probably too far, but you said it, I didn't. Okay.
All right.
So
I'm a happy dude.
now that we're back, someone will insult us.
Yeah. Bring us down. Bring us down a peg. Bring us down a peg.
I'm high in my ivory tower, and you need to topple me.
Adam wants to get toppled. All right, we got some news. Adam, I saw this weird. No, I don't think so.
Okay, I was like, I didn't know that.
Nothing with you is sexual, Adam. Everything with you is asexual. I saw a news story. People were going through the soundtrack information for Final Fantasy VII. You're a Final Fantasy guy. I'm not really a Final Fantasy guy, but I know you are.
I don't know where you got that. I played Monster of the Deep, and I played Final Fantasy X because I heard it was the best plot known to man, and then I realized it was just a freaking Bible. Go to church. It's free, and you don't have to waste hours and hours and hours of your time.
There's not a Bible
Final
VR,
Fantasy X. F you.
Anyway,
it is a direct. Here's the thing. You got me going. You screwed yourself, Alex. It is a direct. I mean, they even call the enemy sin. Now, I know there's some parts of it that's a little exaggerated and things, but should I just ruin it? F it. If you haven't played Final Fantasy X and you actually want to play the game, stop listening now. Because here's the thing: semi-main character, same thing. They go and they're doing all this crap and helping people save their lives and save the city and save mankind. And then the whole time they knew they had to sacrifice themselves. The same way Jesus Christ did. It's bullcrap. It's exactly the Bible. I was infuriated. As soon as I hit that plot twist, I was done. I was like, F you guys. I like the Bible. I love the story of the Bible. It'd be a great story. But come on, don't make a video game a direct effing ripoff of a book. How about, what's your favorite book, Alex?
The Res Infinite Player's Manual.
Okay, well, that's not good enough. Let's say your favorite book was
Charlotte's Web.
Okay, I'm going to make a mother effing game, and it's going to be about a spider, and it's going to go and weave a little freaking web of lies. It's going to get in trouble, and then it's going to save everyone in the whole mother effing city. Oh, what? Charlotte's Web. Big deal. Great. There you go. Your favorite book in a video game. Let's call it the best plot and best Final Fantasy ever. It's bullcrap.
See, this is funny because usually when there's two seemingly really different stories, and then the connection is made that one story is like an allegory or symbolism for the other story, that's usually like a plot device or a writing device that people enjoy. I really I really enjoy when that happens and you find out, oh, Gilligan's Island, it's actually this, symbolism for the Old Testament or something weird like that. It's something people really like and enjoy. When Adam makes a mental connection between one famous story and one seemingly different story, Adam gets pissed about it and severs that connection, throws half of his life away because
it's because there's no
this is how literary
to it. Like, it's the same, and maybe it wouldn't be bad because people were saying it was the best game ever made and it was the best plot of any of the Final Fantasy games. But, dude, I've been going to church my whole life. It's the same story. Like, what the heck?
I think that might be the point, though, Adam.
What's the point?
It's a whole thing of I'm not going to get into it. Anyways, Adam, Final Fantasy VII, they're making a big remake out of it. Final Fantasy VII is like the most popular Final Fantasy game ever. They're doing a big remake coming out on PlayStation 4. The soundtrack information was released, and somebody was digging through the song titles and the soundtrack, and they found a track called VR Menu. And so there's theories now that their Final Fantasy VII remake is going to have like a VR mode, maybe. Would you be interested in that, Adam?
I would need to see how they would incorporate it because I honestly don't know how it would work. I mean, I guess also some of the Final Fantasies now, they remake them in a way that I'm not used to. If it's like back in the day where it's a turn-based RPG and you could play as one of the characters in a turn-based mode like that, I think that would work. I think a lot of them now, though, are kind of like, I mean, I don't want to say like directly like Skyrim, but it's like that. It's like open world, and you go and you actually, it's not as linear, right? Is that how they make them now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know how exactly that would work.
Are
I
you
guess
ever?
I would be interested if they did it adequately and incorporated VR in such a way that it was decent and it was actually fully fledged, or at least, a good portion of it, not just a 30-second like Tekken. Like, that's bull crap. I don't want that, but I don't know. You're
Did
not a Final Fantasy guy. Would you do it?
Probably not. Did you ever do the Kingdom Hearts VR?
I think they were coming out with a second one, and then that was before my hiatus. So I did play the first one, but it wasn't like you played anything. It was definitely an experience in which they showed you scenes of the Kingdom Hearts series. And I mean, it was cool, but you didn't like hold a keyblade and slash at people or anything like that. So
Am I
that's
allowed? Am I
yeah.
allowed to send the listeners and viewers the picture that you sent me of you dressed up as Sora from Kingdom Hearts?
He's joking. I never did that. I dressed up as Kyrie.
Oh,
But
okay, yeah.
that's the girl.
Oh,
Like
yeah. I didn't
with
know.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I cosplay as women.
Yeah, I know you do. That's okay. That's what his hiatus was. He was trying things out, guys. Other news story: Iron Man VR was delayed. It's supposed to come out this month or February, something like that. It's delayed to May 15th. Adam, does that make you feel sad? Were you looking forward to it? I feel like this is the one release that was on my radar, and now it's pushed back like 3 more months.
Well, honestly, I'm not that upset about it because here's the thing: with a thing like Iron Man, we talked about how we like Megaton Rainfall, and you like it more than I do because I see some more gameplay holes in it that I would want filled. I want my holes filled,
Mhm.
and Megaton Rainfall didn't fill it. But Iron Man, in the way that I feel like the combat could be very physical, it could be a lot more combat based, but yet the things I appreciate in Megaton Rainfall in terms of exploration and flying, that is all still there. So I feel like Iron Man could be a very good game. And so by them delaying it, I would much rather them do that and put out a very good game and a polished game rather than spit something out in February and it be kind of unpolished and a game that I play for a few hours and like because I don't like Iron Man or Marvel or anything like that, but that scenario makes for a very intriguing game whether you're interested in that plot or that character or not. So I don't know. Are you that disappointed?
I kind of am. I mean, this was a game that I was thinking like this might be something that pulls me back in. Like I would drop some money on it. If we don't get a code, I'd go out and buy it because I could imagine playing Iron Man. That's one of the first things I would think of when I hold a move control. It's like, yeah, you could really use the hand as your thrusters and then shoot at enemies with the palms of your hand. Like it could be really fun in VR. And it sounds like the developers have done a good job from what the demos say. But the fact that it's delayed kind of bums me out. So I don't really know what to look forward to in the near future. Oh, one game. You never got around to playing Audica, did you?
I did not.
Yeah. Did we get a code for it?
I thought you took it.
No, I bought the game like a
Oh.
scrub.
Oh,
Okay.
then I don't know. We may have a free code.
Did you did you ever play what's that game? Gollum.
No.
We got a code for it. Are you gonna take
Uh,
that code and play it?
I don't know. Have you played it?
No. I thought you
Oh
took the code.
no, dude. I tell you, I haven't played in.
Maybe I'm gonna be
It's been like
stealing
4 months. I don't know, man. I definitely have not played it.
I'm gonna
I
steal
feel
that
like
code tonight. Yeah.
everyone was really excited for Gollum, and honestly, after looking at the gameplay, I just didn't see what people were excited for. So I feel like that's part of the reason why I was like, whatever, I don't really care. And I assumed you would take it, but guess not.
Guess not.
Well, if I look at it, I still don't want to play it. We'll just give it away because
No.
someone who
Like, give
wants
it
to
to me. Give it to me, man. I got mouths to feed. Give me that free
Oh, it's hilarious. Yeah, and with you up there, if it freaking snows, then 'cause I think you're more likely to get snow than I am. You can't do anything anyhow, so there you go. You can play some golf.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is it for the news that I have. I'm sure there was other big news. Oh, other big news. Sony's not doing E3 again this year. So let's not look forward to any new announcements. But the PlayStation 5 will be announced. I think they're having some kind of PlayStation experience event in February. So maybe in a couple of weeks when I finally get my bearings after having a kid, We can talk about something like that. I don't know. It's been a while since Sony said anything, and I'd really like to know what's going on with PSVR in the future.
Yeah, that is what I'm most disappointed in. I mean, I don't care that they're not going to E3, but I mean, really, it's tough because my headset it's on its last leg, and the thing is, like PS5 is going to be what in a year, and then
This year, yeah.
Yeah, but probably in the holiday season, right?
Yeah, I think
So it might as well be a year. And then I don't know when PS2's coming out, PSVR 2. And so like I don't want to buy a new PSVR, drop money on a whole new headset and then use it for a year and have to upgrade, which is going to be a hefty upgrade, a very expensive one. But I also don't want to use a freaking broken headset. I wish they would hurry up and come out with it. So I don't know. But so that their reveals I would definitely be very interested in. And the thing is they're not direct. They don't tell you when things come out. They're very secretive, I feel like most of the time. So I don't know.
And we were going to go to E3 now that we finally have like a media outlet and we finally get something established and they take it away from us, man.
I know. Isn't that the biggest turd suck I've ever? I mean, I would rather deep freeze a turd and suck on it than do what they did to us.
Deep freeze a turd. And all right, yeah. Upcoming games, Adam. I think we do have a code for this one, so that's why we're bringing it up. Shadow Legend VR. Shadow Legend is an action-adventure game exclusively designed for virtual reality, where you play as the Grand Master of the Knights Templar in a story-driven medieval crusade. Freely explore densely filled worlds and use your sword, bow, and magic skills to save your kingdom from the destruction of Lord Adaroth. Adam, I just want to warn you. It says it's you're the Grand Master of the Knights Templar. They might do things that reference the Bible, so please don't get angry at the plot in this game for maybe being close to something that happened. One of the most common archetypes in all of human fiction history. Don't get upset if you might see some correlations there between things that happen in the Bible and things that happen in other stories.
Well, here's the thing I'll tell you here, B-hole, is that as long as it's not a verbatim, whatever that saying is, exact replica of the plot, I'll be all right. Exactly, Alex. Exactly. The characters, the way they find out, what's battling, everything. I mean,
is Lord Adaroth in the Bible?
No.
Okay, then I think you might be good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm probably okay here. Oh, why'd you bring it? Why'd you bring it back? You douche. Here's what we're doing. I don't want to rant on again. It's good to be back, guys. Thank you for listening. Keep in touch with us. Feel free to bring heat. All I want is someone to make fun of us. Is that too much to ask? Apparently it is. But we got Twitter. We have Reddit. Twitter's probably the best way to contact us. Email, we check that. That is definitely one of the preferred ways. PlayPSVR at I don't even remember our freaking email. What's our email?
PlayPSVR@gmail.com or contact@playpsvr.com.
That's it. That's the one I forgot. I knew the Gmail, but we're legit here. So do contact@playpsvr.com. Man, you're telling we're running a tight ship here. I haven't played the whole focus of our podcast in about 5 months, and I forgot our email. So doing good. But on Wednesdays, we have the Golden Stream. So check that out. Alex played Battlezone not long ago. Sounds like he had a good time. This week is my time up to bat. Maybe. I don't know. I'll let you pick what I play. I haven't played anything in so long, I'll probably forget how to play. I may fall down, make a fool of myself because virtual reality is so new to me again. But thank you again. As always, play PSVR, where virtual reality is our reality. We will talk to you next week, folks.